Hello there, gamerinos and gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today I'm taking a look at the Kalanoro Demo. You can try it for yourself as well, and the game is slated for release at the end of August. But if you just want to hear someone else ramble about the game for a few minutes, you're at the right place. Kalanoro is a laid-back, bird's-eye view platformer. It's fully 3D, but there's no real three-dimensional exploration. This isn't Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie or Spyro. You pretty much always see everything you need to. No hidden platforms, no hidden goodies. I have to say, I'm generally not the biggest fan of this presentation for a platformer. It takes away from figuring out how to do the jumps, but also doesn't require as much precision as the side-scrollers of old. Top-down games succeed on puzzles or maybe combat. You can see the whole board, so there should be something interesting to interact with. But often with 3D games, the combat is a bit floaty. You're too mobile with all your movement options and can avoid obstacles in the environment far too easily. But the enemies aren't aggressive enough, the attack's not all that tight, which only makes sense. Why put a huge amount of effort into a complex and tight combat system if the game isn't really about the combat? Spectacle fighters show how well it can work. But for a platformer, simple enemies with mostly only one attack, sometimes maybe two for special enemies, are fully sufficient. Zelda can play around with faster enemies surrounding you and throwing different kinds of attacks your way, because you can completely focus on fighting back with your sword and all your items. And there isn't really precision platforming involved. I guess the game that combines the top-down perspective with complicated fighting and platforming the best is the recently released Mina the Hollower. But even that one wouldn't be a fair comparison, since the game is, at least in the way it behaves and how movement works, 2D. And the engine doesn't need to account for different elevations, at least not true elevation. So yeah, having a Mario or Banjo style 3D platformer but without the 3D navigation leaves quite a hole to be filled. And the game not really accomplishes that. It's simple, floaty, rather generous platforming interspersed with equally simple combat. Still fun, as a casual experience, but nothing too deep or complex. You won't master any skills or systems in here. You have a double jump and a ground pound and a few different options for combat. A simple attack combo or a hair whip straight out of Shantae to attack targets that are a bit farther away. And you can even pick up weapons to get a bit more oomph out of your attacks. These weapons come in all kinds of visual designs, but are broadly categorized into two types. Light weapons that you can't even throw, or heavy weapons that give you an even stronger ground attack. You can dash out of the way, which also lets you phase through some barriers, and your hair whip can punch through some others. And over the course of the game, you can buy upgrades for your hair to unlock special attacks. Well, this doesn't sound simple, this doesn't sound like no depth. There is certainly some variety here, visually, and with the different things you can make your character do. But none of these go all that far. The different moves don't invite a bunch of different tactics and approaches. It's more like keys for certain locks. It's more like certain challenges require certain moves only to justify having them. The level design is serviceable, but nothing to write home about. It's a bit unintuitive at times, with an over-reliance on invisible walls in place of more natural and visually clear boundaries. And forks in the road substitute hidden areas filled with goodies. Again, in motion, it's fun. A bit brainless, but fun. And the game doesn't try to be overly complicated, challenging or punishing. Case in point, if you die during a fight, you can immediately respawn for a handful of gems. No, not the microtransaction mobile fake currency type, but a collectible resource, like coins, or music notes, or gems. There's also a cooking minigame that's pretty basic, just hit the one single QTE. There's a music minigame, because music is a central motif of the game. You need to recruit band members, gather fans and win concert battles. You even drive around in a tour bus. This is the level select. But again, the rhythm gameplay is not much to speak of. A cute set piece, maybe, but gameplay wise, well, there isn't a lot here. Press a button every once in a while and sometimes point at a bad guy and pull the trigger. A bit more rhythm to my rhythm game, or maybe another form of music gameplay would have been nice. There are enough ideas out there. Wondersong is a great example of varied music mechanics in a low challenge environment. Well, one thing that works rather well for this game is collecting stuff. Yeah, the game is a bit of a collectathon. You collect gems, but that's nothing special in a platformer. You also collect lore scrolls, cassette tapes which unlock songs in your tour bus, and lots of ingredients for your cooking. That doesn't lead into much. Maybe in the full game. For now, it's only there to satisfy your band members' desires every now and then, so they don't leave the band and have to be rehired, or better, re-rescued in one of the levels. Now, all those dishes could have actual effects, provide you with buffs, or even give you special abilities for the next level. Spicy food could give you a fire attack, a meat dish could give you a strong combo finisher, something like that. There's a lot of superficial stuff in the game that doesn't really make it bad, but there just seems to be a lack of focus. If you don't commit to a mechanic, why even include it at all? What's the need for the cooking QTE? Why do you need to collect batteries to power your radio to play music from time to time? Why do you have to watch your tour bus drive along the road? Why not just drop all that stuff and invest in tighter platforming or more exhilarating combat? Or make everything about music and the band experience. Drop the combat and have you play tunes to jump farther or overcome obstacles and solve puzzles. Visually though, the game is really neat. Bright and colorful, pleasing environments, cute and varied characters. It's overall a very pleasant experience, and I guess as a casual little platformer, maybe for families to take turns playing, having a good time together, it could be a bit of fun. The game isn't offensive or bad, just a little shallow, wrapped in nice visuals and catchy music. It's a neat little time waster, and if that's all you want, you should give it a try. For actual platforming challenges or complex mechanics though, there are quite a few better alternatives out there. If you haven't, check out A Hat in Time for example. And with that, I'm off. You have a pleasant and relaxing day. This has been Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.